All right, thanks, guys. Happy Saturday morning to you. We're coming off another undefeated day yesterday on my Patreon website. We went 2-1 with a push in our 3 premium selections. We're also 6-1 straight up in our last 7 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, that's good for 86% during that short span. Of course, that's a website that I operate that gives you premium daily sports picks beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We're also 9-2 straight up in our last 11 plays in that same category. Good for 82% during that stretch as well. And we'll get to talking a little bit more about that in just a second. But before we go ahead and move on, let's take a look at some Russian Liga Pro table tennis action. And we're going to start with Ivan Pander taking on Andrei Sadkov in a 6 p.m. Eastern showdown. Andrei's coming off a convincing 3-1 victory over Vas Shirzov in his last outing. He also shut out Ivan Pander 3-0 in his outing before that. Andrei's currently on a 4-match win streak with marquee wins over Shirzov, Pander, and Basmanov during that span. He's also 3-1 straight up in his last 4 head-to-head meetings with Pander. Good for 75% during that span. And speaking of Pander on the other side, he's coming fresh off a 3-1 defeat to Basmanov in his last outing himself. He's also lost his last 2 straight, including a 3-0 blowout loss to Andrei Sadkov during that span. Ivan's current 5-match losing streak is amongst the worst in Russia Liga Pro. His 3-15 record in his last 18 is good for just 20% in that category. Doesn't look like too good of a spot here for Pander. Give me Andrei Sadkov getting the job done outright for some moneyline cash. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's Russian Liga Pro table tennis action. Now, before we go ahead and move on with the program, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we went 2-0 yesterday with a push, and we are 6-1 straight up in our last 7 Dog of the Day tier package plays. Good for 86% in that span. We're also 9-2 straight up in our last 11 Underdog tier package plays in that same category. Good for 82% in that category as well. Very good package for us right now. We do daily premium sports picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Currently, we have well over 575 members signed up and active on that page. We'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. Now, you might be wondering, why would all those folks sign up to receive Patreon picks where they can get them right here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great point, a great concern. But there is a big problem with me handicapping every single game on the board, side and total. And the problem is this: if you were to bet every single game on the board that I put out here on YouTube, side and total, you're almost guaranteeing yourself failure. And I know that sounds crazy, but you just have to hear me out real quick. If you're going to go ahead and bet every single game that's on the slate with your hard-earned money, side and total, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. They have a whole lot more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that kind of action. Most important, guys, the math becomes aggressively against you the more and more games you play like that. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage picks, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is here on YouTube, handicapping every single game that's on the board, side and total. And the good news is this: if you want to go ahead and check out my current Patreon record, you can actually do that for free right now. It's located right on the homepage. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. I'll also include a link in the comments section below as well. And once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive back into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we have Andrei Babkin taking on Vlad Zolyabin in a 6:30 p.m. start time. Zolyabin is coming off a 3-2 victory over Sergey Kuzmin. He's also won his last 2 straight matches, including a convincing 3-1 victory over Ivan Pander. Vlad's form run record in his last 5 is good for 80%. He's also 8-2 straight up in his last 10, good for a win percentage of .800. Now Babkin on the other side, a little bit different story, as he's dropped 2 out of his last 3, including a 3-1 defeat to Sergey Kuzmin during that span. Babkin's also been victorious in just 4 out of his last 10, good for just 40% in that category. Doesn't look like a great spot for Babkin here. Give me Vlad Zolyabin winning that one outright. Next contest, Dmitry Kolesnikov squaring off against Alex Gribkov in a 6:30 p.m. start. Gribkov's the $1.25 favorite. Kolesnikov's minus $1.10. And if you like Dmitry in this spot here, he's coming fresh off a 3-0 shutout victory over Vlad Safonov in his last outing. He's also been victorious in 2 out of his last 3 as well. His 12-6 record in his last 18 is good for a win percentage of .667. He also garnered 5 shutout victories during that span as well. Meanwhile, Gribkov on the other side, a little bit different story there, as he's dropped 3 out of his last 5, including an embarrassing 3-0 shutout defeat to Alexei Yanishev during that span. He also lost to the likes of Viktor Ivanov and Bogdan Grebenyuk as well. Should be a very competitive matchup on paper here, but I do have to give the slight fade to Gribkov in this spot. Give me Dmitry Kolesnikov winning this one straight up in a very competitive contest. Next and final matchup, Vlad Shirokov taking on Vlad Petrov in a 6:30 p.m. start. Petrov is the $1.75 favorite. Shirokov's plus $1.25. Shirokov is coming fresh off a tough 3-2 defeat to the hands of Chentsov in his last outing. He's also lost his last 2 straight, including another tough 3-2 defeat, this time to the hands of Dmitry Merzlinkin. Vlad's currently on a 6-match losing streak and has lost 15 out of his last 17 straight matches, one of the coldest men in professional table tennis right now. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vlad Petrov is 2-0 straight up in his last couple of head-to-head meetings with Shirokov. Might not be too bad of a spot here for Petrov backers, although I do think this price point is significantly high. Not a good price point, but all in all, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Vlad Petrov winning this one outright for some moneyline cash. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. And from the Patreon platform, shout-out goes to Brandon Saunders, D-Man, James Witt, Brian T., Jay Williams, Matt Murphy, Justin Van Kuren, and Terrell Parrott. Next, shout-outs from the Instagram platform. Shout-out to Lumber Room, Cozy TV, Daylong Beatnik, Wong Lu Chen, Tommy Pecoraro, Yan Pei, Luca Rosano from the Luca Rosano Show. Got to show some love to Luca, one of the hardest working guys I know that's out there on YouTube. And finally, Michael David Haynes Moeller. And last but certainly not least, we have to get into some shout-outs from our YouTube platform. Shout out to Sophie75, Funny Jokes Today. Shout out to Soy K and Lumberjack. I also want to give a shout out to Lucas Borgia, Jamal Muhammad, Stephen Lewis, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Jimmy Gold. That is a great name, Jimmy Gold. Sounds like a professional poker player or something. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. We are red hot in our Underdog tier package right now. We've been red hot. A lot of plus money plays, doing a great job in that particular category. And once again, guys, if you decide to sign up for Patreon, we will bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. And that's Patreon's policies. I just create the content for them, but Patreon will bill you the day you sign up, an initial fee the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. So if you sign up today on the, the 9th, you're going to get billed today and then the 1st of June. If you sign up at the end of the month, if you sign up on the 27th of May, you'll get billed on May 27th and then June 1st. So I'm just throwing that out there, guys, so everybody's on the same page. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content and all this great free information. And with that said, happy Saturday morning to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.